Peace, family. Peace, peace, peace. Let me know if you can hear me good. Whew. I hope all is well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, let me swig me some water real quick, y'all. Ooh. Because do we have a topic tonight? I'm a little winded, y'all. I just got through running up and down the stairs trying to get the kids situated. Yeah, I know how that go. You know, I'm on CP time. Welcome in, sis. Blue Rain, Sequoia Love. Welcome in. Peace to the guys and goddesses. So, of course, they're popping fireworks outside, you know, when I decide to go live. But, you know, we're here. I've been putting off this topic for a while. And look, you know it's serious when I don't have no background music going live, okay? Because, yeah, we got to hear this message for what it is. Now, those of you that are watching the replay, there is a link in the description box to this book that I'm reading out of, okay? The Making of a Slave, Willie Lynch, aka the Willie Lynch Letter. Now, those of you guys that are in the broadcast, again, the link is in the description box. You guys can follow along. But my goal is to build on this topic. I myself have not read the Willie Lynch Letter, the whole thing anyways. I've just kind of picked through over the years, you know. So I'm excited. This is going to be interesting. Not only interesting, but informative. Not only informative, but healing. I feel like it's up to us, meaning the divine feminine, to fix this, to try to fix this. Every brown person, peace, Fundi, peace, peace, peace. Every brown person has suffered from this very letter, yes, but the women, the woman, I mean, I no shade, but yeah, we got it the worst, right? So if we got it the worst, that means that we've got the most work to do, right? So let's go ahead and get into this. I want to start the broadcast off by just reading through this letter, right? And then I'm just letting spirit lead me through this broadcast, y'all. I am nervous. But like I really felt like this was something that needed to be done. Like my spirit guides led me to this for a reason. It's time to get this out the way. So we're starting a series. This is part 1 of breaking down the Willie Lynch letter. Okay? So let's go ahead and begin. Like I said, y'all, the link to the book is in the description box. So if you have an extra device, this will be the time to pull it out and follow along with me. We gonna pick through this together. There's 60 pages, okay? So again, I'm letting spirit lead me. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and jump in. The Willie Lynch letter, In the Making of a Slave. Now, I think it's important to read the introduction. I'm not sure if I want to read the whole thing, but I think reading the introduction is important, at least a little bit of it, right? So, introduction. The infamous Willie Lynch letter gives both African and Caucasian students and teachers some insight concerning the brutal and inhumane psychology behind the African slave trade. The materialistic viewpoint of Southern plantation owners that slavery was a business and the victims of chattel slavery were merely pawns in an economic game of debauchery, crossbreeding, interracial rape, and mental conditioning of a Negroid race they considered subhuman. Equally important is the international nature of the European economic, political, and cultural climate that influenced the slave trade. Within the timescale of African history, it was a relatively short period, a mere one, and one that lasted half centuries, from the most intensive phase of the Atlantic slave trade to the advent of European administration and dominance. Long before that, the slave coast had been chartered by the Portuguese and the people off the area west of Benin, between the Volta River and Lagos. European traders traced a cultural history which linked them with the earliest Yoruba settlements to the north and eastern borders of Africa. He plainly stated that the tax was designed to check the trade, and that he was sorry that the Constitution prevented Congress from prohibiting the importation altogether. Now, I did skip down a couple, if you guys are following along, a couple paragraphs, okay? I believe this is the fourth box, if you guys are following along. The proposal was evidently unwelcome and caused extended debate. Smith of South Carolina wanted to postpone the matter, quote, so big with the serious consequences to the state he represented, unquote. I'm going to go down. We're going to go ahead and jump into this thing. Y'all ready? All right, y'all. William Lynch, The Untold Story. Gentlemen, I greet you here on the banks of the James River in the year of our Lord 1712. 1712. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with your slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. As our boat sailed south on the James River, named for our illustrators, our illustrious king, whose version of the Bible we cherish, I saw enough to know your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along it on highways and in great numbers, you are here using the tree and rope on occasion. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple of miles back. You are not only losing valuable stocks by hangings, you are having uprisings. Slaves are running away. Your crops are sometimes left in the field too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires. Your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I'm here to enumerate your problems. However, I am here to introduce you to a method of solving them. So this is this fucker. What's his name? Look, let me get him right. Yeah, William. So this is this fucker, Mr. William, right? So fucker William is like, hey, yeah, so if you stop doing this and you did that, your slaves will be in order. You gotta split the niggers in half. Okay, you gotta systemize the shit. You can't be slapping them around all willy-nilly. There's a system to the slapping. Just the darkness of it all, the wickedness of it all, right? So, and you begin to think. You just begin to think, right? Your mind begins to wonder, and you begin to think, why? Like, why? Does this have anything to do with melanin? Does this have anything to do with the power of not only the Black woman, but the melanated race as a whole? You don't think that they knew about our powers, our connection to source, the witchcraft, quote unquote? Introduced us with Christianity, right? Even though we know that was straight out of the book of Enoch. If you know, you know. Twisted the shit up on us. But before I get too angry and in my emotions, let's get back. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your Black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if it is installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. If used and installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. They packaged up selling our souls. They commercialize selling our souls. How to keep our venom in a jar. Black matter in a jar. What chaos does that bring? Hint, hint, wink, wink. The hoods today. Let's continue. This is making my ass itch. Y'all see, this is why I didn't want to do this shit. But you know what? We're here. Peace, Rico. Peace, peace, peace. Y'all, sorry I was not in the comment section. My bad. I'm back. Look. Y'all, whew. All right. I have outlined a number of differences amongst the slaves. And I take these differences and make them bigger, making a mountain out of a molehill, right? I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. Every melanated person watching this video right now, their mother said this or something to this effect. You ready? Now we about to go in here to this store. I don't want y'all in here acting crazy, jumping around in front of these white folks. Don't get in here cutting up in front of these white folks. If you do, I'm going to take you to that bathroom and I'm going to whoop your black ass. Right? Am I right or am I wrong? Oh, okay. Fear. I use fear and distrust. We can't trust this sister over here because, you know, she working for the white man, or she might, she might tell massa. She might, this all stems from somewhere. We don't even trust each other. We don't look at each other in the eyes. We don't greet each other. Women, as soon as we see each other, it's funk on sight. You don't even know her. But what hurts even more is most of us don't even know where it comes from. This very letter right here. But this is that woke shit. This is that shit, like this is that woke talk. I don't want to hear that shit. Understand how powerful your mind is. That is why they attack it so much. Fear is what's going to kill people. Ashe, Rico. I'm shaking. Look me in your eye when you speak to me, so I can better feel your frequency. Yes. Like, do you mean, hey, how you doing? Or is it just a programming that we have? Because we all had that programming. But then flip side, before I get too off, track, don't nobody owe us a hi and a how you doing, So we have a sense of entitlement as well. Where did that come from? But at the same time, we came from a people with high standards, a people with high respect for one another. We bartered with one another. We loved on one another so much that we shared each other's wives. And it don't make sense to us now, but the frequency, you feel what I'm saying? It's gone. I'm looked at weird when I went, like, I want to bathe my sisters. Come on, sis, let me give you a spiritual bath. Fuck. You can't even look at another woman naked, sister, without feeling some type of way. A woman can't even come around you with some cleavage, low cut, or you know what I'm saying, just wanting to be in her femininity and encase her her temple, her altar, her shrine. We're walking shrines. We shouldn't feel no type of way when a woman has her breast out around us, when we come from a people that didn't even wear mother. Come on now. Let me shut the fuck up and get back into this. It's a program, man, how people were raised. It starts within the household. So if our grandmother's grandmother was raised off this very here, and we're talking we're talking 1712. That's not that long ago. Like, oh, Fundi said read. Yes, sis. Look, let me get on back to it. Ooh, child. I have outlined a number of differences amongst the slaves, and I take these differences and make them bigger. Fear, distrust, and envy, because her booty bigger than mine. for control purposes. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take the simple little list of differences and think about them. On top of my list is age, but it is there only because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. Colorism, light skin versus dark skin. There is intelligence, size, sex, size plantations, status on plantation. You know, I'm doing well because I went to college and I'm a lawyer, right? You know, and you're just living on Section 8, so you ain't shit, you know, not realizing that you work your ass off and you're taking the bus and you got 3 kids on your hip, you know, but you're scum because I'm closer to the white man, you know, because I'm in his office with him and I got perm in my hair. Let's continue. I just want to make sure we're clear here, right? Ashe. Intelligence, size, sex, size plantation, status on plantation, attitude of owners, whether the slave lives in the valley, speak on it, on the hill, east, west, north, south, have fine hair, coarse hair, or is tall or short. My dick is bigger than yours. It was cold that night. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure that the distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. The Black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-regeneration. Self-regeneration for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. And that very last part that I read, my beautiful people, is in red. Understand the fucking spell. Do you hear me? Written in blood. Ashe. Do you hear me? We have a lot of work to do. Let's continue. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark. You must use the female versus the male and vice versa. You must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks. But it is necessary your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust us only. Only us. Only us. What's us mean? Because us wasn't a fucking word. I'm about to break the code on you right now. United States. If your heart ain't beating fast right now, and trust only in us. What does it say on the? Let me stop. Okay, let's continue. Now, this is the kind of shit that make you want to speak in tongues. Shabba-da-bo-shata that. Gentlemen, these kits are the keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss any opportunity. If used intensively for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. Thank you, gentlemen. Moving right along, 2 paragraphs down. Let's make a slave. Conscious of the injustice and wrong they were every hour perpetuating, and knowing that they themselves they themselves, okay, that's a typo. They themselves, they themselves, okay, it says they themselves would do were they, okay, yeah, that's definitely a typo. They were constantly looking for first signs of dread. Wow. I just got to download, my bad. Dread retribution. They watched, therefore, with skilled and practiced eyes, and learned to read with great accuracy the state of mind and heart of the slave through his stable face, unusual sobriety, apparent abstraction, sullenness, and indifference. Indeed, any mood out of the common way afforded ground for suspicion and injury. So if you not going by the day-to-day orders that has been planned out, if you pick a berry on the side, if you do anything that master did not tell you to do, you will have consequences. Let's Make a Slave is a study of the scientific process of man breaking and slave making. It describes the rationale and results of the Anglo-Saxons' ideas and methods of ensuring the master/slave relationship. Let's make a slave. Let's make a slave a slave. What do I need? First of all, we need a black nigger man and a pregnant nigger woman and her baby nigger boy. Second, I will use the same basic principle that we use in the breaking of a horse. A horse. What do we put in our hair? Combined with some more sustaining factors. Let's make a slave. When we do it with horse, we break them from one form of life to another. That is, we reduce them from their natural state in nature. Buck breaking, there you go. There you go, sis. Yep. Buck breaking. Look, we ain't even there yet. We ain't even there yet. We reduce them from their natural state in nature. When I read that, I thought about hair. Like I'm thinking hair right now, you know? Like there's this heavy natural versus laid baby hair with the lace front sucking your eyebrows back to Timbuktu thing going on here. I don't know if y'all have seen it or felt it, but I see it and I feel it, and it's fucked up. We don't know who we are so much that, you know, like, you know, so whereas nature provides them with the natural capacity to do. Listen, y'all, listen. I'm gonna go back just a little bit. Listen to this. We break them from one form of life to another. That is, we reduce them from their natural state in nature. Whereas nature provides them with the natural capacity to take their needs and their needs of their offspring. They knew our connection to nature. And you're right, Fundi. You're right. You're right. Fundi says, oh, we don't know. And that's not our fault. Ashe. I 1,000% agree with that. 1,000% agree with that. 1,000. We don't know. And that's why we're breaking this down. You are absolutely right. Whew, you are absolutely right. Ashe Rico. Mm. We break that natural string of independence from them and thereby create a dependency state so that we may be able to get from them useful, productive for our business and pleasure, using us for their business and pleasure. For fear that our future generations may not understand the principles of breaking both horse and man, we lay down the art. For if we are to sustain our basic economy, we must break and tie down both of the beasts together, the nigger and the horse. We understand that short range planning and economics results in periodic chaos, so that to avoid turmoil in the economy, it requires us to have breadth and depth in long range, comprehensive planning, articulation, both skills and sharp perception. We lay down the following principles for long range, comprehensive economic planning. Let's make a slave. Yeah, you're right. This is an art. Yeah. hmm Colt's been using the same goddamn thing. I'm pretty sure Nature Boy read the motherfucking Willie Lynch letter and used this to build his motherfucking sadistic ass cult. Ooh, look, let me ship some champagne. 1111. Ooh. Wow. Wow. Moderators, if you're in the building, if you wouldn't mind snatching that StreamYard link from the community tab, I would really appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. I'm going to continue reading, y'all, okay? And y'all are more than welcome to come up. This is an open panel build. I really just wanted to start off the broadcast with us really reading, right? Right? Like really reading this stuff. So, like I said, this is a series. So, wherever we stop reading, we will pick right back up. I don't want to overwhelm myself and you guys because, or you all, because this is not only triggering for me, but for you all as well. I know, I feel it. So we'll do this. It'll be a once a week thing, right? So thank you so much. Blue Rain just dropped the StreamYard link in the chat, y'all. I'm going to continue to read, y'all. Number 1, both horse and nigger are no good to. Oh, and I want to make a note, y'all. I have my daughter in here. She wanted to listen to the show. And at first, I'm like, but she was so adamant. And then my spirit guides told me she needs to hear this. She's 9. Maybe if I would have known this when I was 9. You feel me? So I'm trying on my end as a mother to save my children. To save them and to let them know who they are, to let them know why things are the way that they are, where it stems from, to grow their own food, to be self-sustainable, to love themselves, to know the real history of our people. And I just encourage you to do the same, y'all, okay? So let's continue. Number one, both horse and nigger are no good to the economy in the wild or natural state. Number two, both must be broken and tied together for orderly production. For the orderly future, special and particular attention must be paid to the female and the young offspring. Both must be crossbred to produce a variety and division of labor. Number five, both must be taught to respond to a particular new language. Number six, psychological and physical instruction of containment must be created for both. You can't go outside of these lines right here. That's it. Fall back into place. Let's make a slave. We hold the above 6 cardinal principles as truths to be self-evident based on the following discourse concerning the economics of breaking and trying the horse and the nigger together, tying the horse and the nigger together. They physically tied our bodies, our ancestor bodies, to the horse. Literally. This is literally, family. All inclusive of the 6 principles laid down above. Note. Oh, William, you have a note, do you? You got a note, William? I'm sick of you. What, William? William has a note, y'all. Note. Neither principle alone will suffice for good economics. All principles must be employed for the orderly good of the nation. We have to tie them to horses and split them apart for the nation. We have to for the nation, because if we don't keep the poor nigger controlled, the beasts, the primordial beasts, they're going to come out and they're going to get into their magic, and our teeth are going to start falling out again. We're going to go back to eating shit. We can't do that. We got to keep them contained. Make them forget who they are. Accordingly, both a wild horse and a wild or natural nigger is dangerous, even if captured, for they will have a tendency to seek their customary freedom, and in doing so, might kill you in your sleep. You cannot rest. Let's make a slave. They sleep while you are awake, and are awake while you are asleep. They are dangerous near the family house, and it requires too much labor to watch them away from the away from the house. Above all, you cannot get them to work in the natural state. If they're connected to nature, remember earlier, y'all, and I want y'all to remember this through this series. Natural state equals nature, because in the beginning of this letter, y'all remember, they said we have to make a slave. You have to break them from nature, right? Right, Fundi, customary freedom. Like it's an option on the shopping cart or something. Like it's I'm so sick of you, William. William, I'm so sick of you. William. Okay, William, sir. So again, y'all, natural state. Go ahead, baby. Natural state. I'm doing my class, okay? So make sure you keep your voice down, okay? All right. Thank you. Natural state equals breaking us from nature. Nature, right? Okay, let's continue. They are danger. I'm gonna go back just like a couple sentences, okay? They are dangerous near the family house, and it requires too much labor to wash them away from our house. All above, you cannot get them to work in the natural state. Hence, both the horse and the nigger must be broken. That is break from one form of mental life to another. It's all about the mental. All is mental. We hear that all the time in the spiritual community. They knew that. They know our magic better than we do. Rico says, natural state like a tree broken away from their root. That's powerful. Wow. And what's the tree of life? Powerful. Wow. And Fundi, you might know this. The tree of life, isn't our lung look just like the tree of life? Is it the lung? So, like when you think about them hanging that the noose, cutting off the air supply, cutting off the tree of life, hanging you on the tree, that's very deep, very fucking deep, very symbolic. And William. Oh, William, you gonna be in a jar at the end of this motherfucking series, okay? You and your pickle head. Look, let me shut up. Let me shut the fuck 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 up. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. Let me be quiet. But let me keep talking. Deeper than that. Fundi says I'm missing a part. Fundi, come up. Oh, I see you. I see you, Fundi. Y'all, we have a special guest. Welcome, welcome, y'all. Master. Peace,
Peace,
Fundi.
sis. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm well. How you doing?
I'm very well. First, you're not gonna be able to finish this and read it with emotion. You got it. You got to put your ruler hat on for this, and you can't rule emotionally. You can't even take the mantle of rule and rule with your emotion. You will not be ruling for long.
Ashe. You're right. I'm not
First
gonna
of
lie, it's
all,
very hard.
First of all, if you want to break a spell, you have to use the same words that the spell was used in. You cannot use other words. That's just the basis of magic. If the spell was made in Latin, you're going to have to break it in Latin. If it, what Willie says is the language that this was made in, which is the language you have to break it in.
That's powerful.
Were we accustomed to nature? Sure we were. But his direct wording is, and I quote, for a reason, customary freedom.
Mm.
When you are dealing with laws and magic, you have to use laws and the words of that magic. No, we were used to customary freedom. Does that equate nature? Sure, it does. But we didn't make this spell, they did. So you have to use his language to break it.
Right. So right now, in this very moment, we break the chains and be released
Well,
as the
first of all,
melanated
you have to
people,
accept customary freedom.
not to accept customary freedom.
No, you have to accept customary freedom. And that's the
I don't
problem.
think so. Can you break this down for us, Wendy? Because I might not be the only one that does not. I don't understand quite what they're meaning here.
Okay,
Right. There we go.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Much like, let's use their terminology, much like the nigger and the horse, right? The nigger and the horse are not useful to the economy unless they are broken, because both are used to customary freedom. A horse ain't gonna let you just get on its back and allow you to ride it into town. It don't work like that. A horse is born into customary freedom. It rides the plain. Nothing
Right.
gets on its back.
So
It
customary meaning luxury.
no. Meaning I do what I want. I do what I want to do. Say what I want to say. Go where I want to go. Play how I want to play.
Mm-hmm. Like the
That's what
Lynch
nature
stuff.
does.
Right. Okay.
Don't nobody
That's
tell
making
nature
sense.
what to do. Wild things do not feel sorry for themselves. A bird does not trust the branch it lands on, it trusts its own wings.
Mm-hmm. I understand now. I understand now. Okay. Well, I'm glad that I was vocal about that as well. Cause oftentimes, especially in our community, y'all, we gonna break everything down talking about this. Okay. So we're gonna talk about everything. Okay. How we tend to, just in basic conversation, you'll be talking about something and they'll be like, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. And they don't know what you talking about, don't know what you meant. Asking those questions are important. It's okay to feel quote unquote dumb. Those moments right there spark interest, growth, everything. So, you know,
Customary freedom for the people for the Aboriginal of Turtle Island was you wake up in the morning. The women went and did textile or skinned something or boiled a stew, took care of the kids. The men went out hunting. By midday, everybody came in. We ate, we played, we fucked. We took a nap. We got up from our nap at dusk. If hunters were coming back in, we got them in. We prepped for the next day. We told stories by the fire. We ate again. We fucked. We went to sleep, and we did it again the next day. Is any of that conducive to a capitalistic society?
capital H, hell no.
Absolutely not, because nothing I said depends on capitalism in any way, shape, and or form. So just like the horse running the plane, right, with its pack, that horse does not serve capitalism.
Yeah.
But if you break the horse so you can get on its back, so you can put a bit in its mouth and plow the land, you can make
Mm-hmm.
it forget that it was once customarily free,
Right.
because now it's in a barn. in a really small space all night with a whole bunch of hay around it, waiting for you to feed it
Yep. Your
instead of
routine.
running the plains.
Yep. What you want us to do, massa? Well, what you got planned for us today? Us waking up, going to their jobs, and y'all, we let's be clear. It's look. Let me not even say that. Going to their jobs, blase, right? Now, I know I have white viewers as well. Understand that this is important to be talked about. And no, it's not hate whitey, but we need, as a people, as melanated people, we need to understand what has been done. And we need to reverse this shit for us to get along and love each other one again in our community, and for us to extend that and be able to love people that don't share the same skin color. There's a lot of layers here. So please don't, you know,
No, the pamphlet said what fear is greater than what?
look, let me scroll on up. What it say, Fundi? Lay it on us.
Fear is fear is the greatest weapon you could possibly use, and distrust is its sister. They didn't have to teach us to love them. They just had to teach us to distrust one another.
Right.
Distrust is the strongest of bonds. Distrust is stronger than love. Oops.
Rico said something. Rico says, instead of reversing, I think we need to move forward or else the cycle will continue. I agree. But like I said earlier in the stream, this is important to know. We don't know these things. How we gonna fix something and we don't even know where it started from. You feel what I'm saying? So we do have another sister chiming in on the panel. Peace to Sequoia Love.
Hi, good
Peace,
evening,
artist.
everybody.
Peace.
Good evening, Master Fee. Good evening. My
Peace.
question is, I understand this, obviously, but the thing is, what bothers me is, my question is, how do we shift or change or make a change in generational thinking?
That's easy. It
Mhm.
is so freaking easy, and it's the hardest thing for us to possibly do. And
Mhm.
it's what my teacher said. You have to accept yourself and accept your own. Period. Hardest shit for us to do because we've been
Yeah, that's
conditioned.
that's what.
Distrust
Mhm.
is stronger than love.
Mhm.
So to be yourself and accept your own, you got to bite a few bullets. You got to bite your own conditioning.
And that's the key, because a lot of Black race, and then you have different cultural races, like, people from the West Indies and things like that. I grew up in a West Indian home, and the thinking, um, is generational, is a colorism issue. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like,
Absolutely.
how do you uh, convince, I guess, or talk to a group of culturally um, raised, already I guess, disposed ideology. How do you begin to work on that?
Accept
Well,
yourself.
I think of course it does start with self, but
Mm-hmm.
like I like coming together in not only panels like this, but like even in a physically, like having a group of women come together and
Mm-hmm.
just like talking about the issues that come with color, talking about it is how we get through it, because those tough those triggering things are going to come up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's important to talk about it before we can just like, because we can't just dispose
Mm-hmm.
of it or just act like it's not there. You know
It's
what I'm
gonna take
Well,
saying? We
a.
got to learn to
Mhm.
trust one another again.
okay, there's that word again. It's a trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And who and what gave you that trigger? Is it a false trigger? Is it one that was implanted?
It's definitely a false trigger.
It's a false
It's
trigger.
absolutely, yes.
And learn it
Okay.
Absolutely.
as well.
So realizing that the most like what we're feeling, like it's all a lie. It's all a joke. Like everything, if we just reverse everything, everything is a fucking lie.
I think
Yeah.
it could be learned too. Because when
Welcome
I
to
was
the asylum.
in school growing up, I was born. My father is Black American. My mother is Haitian American. So I got it on both sides. I was told I was not Haitian. I told I was not Black. Colorism, and then going into an supposed to be higher educational college. It was another struggle between African American students and West Indian students, and there's like a ignorance thinking that we are not the same.
Mm.
Look,
Okay.
this is what I know. This is what my teacher taught me. And I think I'm pretty free of this Willie Lynch thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so free of the Willie Lynch thing that I can dip out on capitalism when I feel like it.
Hmm.
I haven't worked nowhere for nobody for a very, very long time. I live by my own hand. I pay my bills by my own hand. I don't have anybody calculating my tax. I have to do that myself.
Mm-hmm.
I trust my wings. I do not trust the branch in which I landed on.
Mm-hmm.
That
Ooh, I
being
like that.
said,
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
look,
So, ladies, if y'all don't mind, I want to read this next paragraph. It's actually about breaking the female horse. So, if y'all want to
go ahead.
hone in on this paragraph, y'all open to do that?
Go ahead.
Okay. Back in my William voice, right? Because William. Let's make a slave. Completely break the female horse until she becomes a very gentle, whereas you or anybody can ride her in comfort. Bred the mare and the stud until you have the desired offspring. Then you can turn the stud to freedom until you need him again. Train the female horse whereby she will eat out of your hand. And she will in turn train the infant horse to eat out of your hand as well. Don't go in here playing around with these white folks. When it comes to breaking the uncivilized nigger, use the same process but vary in degree and step up the pressure so as to do a complete reversal of the mind. Come on, Williams.
So I'm assuming the women that don't follow this are those the angry Black women.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We don't fall in line. We always, you know, irate and
Mm-hmm.
angry. Yeah.
Right.
We bite the hand, literally, we bite the hand that feeds us. Again, use his terminology. You have to make her docile enough to eat out of your hand.
Right.
So if she is still biting the hand that feeds her, she is still not broken. So yes, she is angry.
So is that the same thought that Black men have towards us? Is that why they have an issue with us?
Like when
Well,
I read that, I went straight to food stamps, child support, Section
Mm-hmm.
8, everything. They
Mm-hmm.
feed, they just keep the Black woman
Mm-hmm.
in a very comfortable yet uncomfortable state.
Mm-hmm.
She can't get out of the box. She can't and if I do get a job that the Black woman does get a job that's just a little bit over the line of income where they want you to be, then you can't eat at a master's hand no more. I've heard
well,
black
hold
women, I've
on.
heard this growing up. I've heard this.
You don't eat out of master's hand anymore, but you definitely shift to master's table.
Hmm.
Some of us do shift up to eat at master's table.
That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole fact.
And some of
Very
us
true.
shift up to sleep in master's bed.
Hmm.
Ooh,
That's true
child.
too.
Not the bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh, not the bed, child.
But
Mm-hmm.
then to break what Willie Lynch did, you have to understand why that is happening. Yeah, yeah, that part.
It goes deep. It goes
Yeah.
deep.
It's deep.
So deep. Let's continue, ladies. Take the meanest and the most restless nigger, strip him of his clothes in front of the remaining male niggers, the
Mm.
female, the nigger infant, tar and feather him, tie each leg to a different
Mm.
horse in opposite directions. Set him fire and beat both horse to pull him apart in front of the remaining niggers. The next step is to take a bullwhip and beat the remaining nigger male to the point of death and in front of the female and the infant. Don't kill him, but put the fear of God in him, for he
The
can be
fear of who?
useful for future breeding. Go ahead, Master Fundi.
No, the fear of who? Put the fear of what?
God.
Fear
And
of
it has a
God.
capital G, you all.
Mm.
Put the fear of a boogeyman in him. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Let's
Mm-hmm.
continue. The breaking process of the African woman. So we're on another section in the letter now, you all. And there's 60 pages. We're moving through this swiftly, you all. We're on 31. The pages aren't long. So we going by spirit, so let's just continue and see, what we build on. Then take the female and run a series of tests on her to see if she will submit to your desire willingly. Test her in from the honest, because I know why you laughing. Okay. Then take the female, run a series of tests on her to see if she will submit to your desire willingly. Test her in every way because she is the most important factor for good economics. And ladies, if just hit me with an ashe if y'all want me to stop and y'all want to interject at any point, okay? If she knows any sign of resistance in submitting completely to your will, do not hesitate to use the bullwhip on her to extract the last bit of bitch out of her. What's up,
Wow.
bitch?
Hmm.
Hey, bitch. That's my
That's why
bitch.
when a man is abusing you and he calls you a bitch, that
Bitch.
that
Mm.
should that should snap you back into a reality that never mind. My bad. Go ahead. I'm sorry, sis.
No, speak on it. Speak on it.
Mm.
That should
Absolutely.
snap you back into a reality that he has chosen the patriarchy over you.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. I've never thought about it like
That's true.
whoa. And it's crazy because I mean now we know, but we didn't know these things before. Collectively. Wow. Let's continue. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. Take care not to kill her.
Hmm.
For in doing so, you spoil good economics. When in complete submission, she will train her offspring in the early years to
That's
submit
true.
to labor when they become of
Mm.
age.
That's true.
Shall I show you the pimp game right quick?
Pimp
You
us
read
down.
Mm.
I'm a mic up.
You're reading Pimp Game. So sisters, just know that the whole Pimp Game popped from the Willie Lynch letter.
Wow.
Whoa. Hell
That's true.
yeah.
You're reading the game.
Mm.
Beat her to the last little is out of her,
Yeah,
correct?
don't kill her though. Don't kill her
Don't
now.
kill her
Mm-hmm.
because you're ruining good economics. Don't fuck her face up.
You know, don't fuck up the face and that pussy. Don't leave that pussy nice and pink now. You hear? You
Again, we have to understand who our real enemies are right quick.
Right.
Go ahead, sis.
mm-hmm. Understanding is the best thing. Therefore, we shall Therefore, come on now, let's go to church. Take them to church. Take them to church. Therefore, we shall go deeper into the area of the subject matter concerning what we have produced here in this breaking process of the female nigger. We have reversed relationships.
Mm-hmm.
In her natural, uncivilized state, she would have a strong dependency on the uncivilized nigger male. And she
The
would have a
uncivilized nigga. I need everybody to
Wow.
understand what they the
Mm-hmm.
uncivilized nigga male. Go ahead.
a male in their natural state.
Amen.
And she would have a limited protective tendency towards her independent male offspring and would
Mm-hmm.
raise the female offspring to be dependent like her. Nature had provided time with this balance. We reverse nature by burning and pulling one civilized nigger apart and bullwhipping the other to the point of death. Death, all in her presence.
Mm-hmm.
By her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed, the last thing she remembered was her counterpart being ripped in half, okay? The ordeal caused her to move from her psychological dependent state to a frozen, independent state. In this frozen psychological state of independence, she will raise her male and female offspring in reversed roles.
Yep.
For future of the young man's life, she will psychologically train him to be mentally weak, independent, but physically strong.
Mhm.
Mm.
Because she has become psychologically independent, she will train her female offsprings to be psychologically independent. What have you got? Ooh, we're going to the children now, y'all. If y'all following along, we are on the page with the little boy, the little boy. You've got the nigger woman out front and the man behind and scared. This is the perfect situation for sound sleep and economics. Hmm. Hmm.
He sleep
Household
good at
officially
night.
broken.
He sleep good at night.
Before the breaking process, we had to on guard at all times. Now we can sleep soundly, for out of frozen fear, the woman stands guard for us. He cannot get past her infant slave process. He is and this is in all caps, he is a good tool, now ready to be tied to the horse at a tender age. By the time a nigger boy reaches the age of 16, he is soundly broken in and ready for life's sound and efficient work and the reproduction of a unit of good labor force.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Oh, it's a wonderful plan. I mean, you have to admire.
It's
You have
evil
to
genius.
exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. And
It's evil genius.
the only thing we have to do to break it is accept our own and be ourselves. That's it.
Yeah.
But we no
Yeah.
longer know how to be ourselves.
Know thyself. That's
Ooh,
it.
yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's the big problem.
That's a problem.
So I was thinking, I'm just going to track back a little bit because my first question that I had jotted down from the beginning was, where did he test his idea with the
In the
slave?
West Indies on his plantation.
Thank
Yes.
you.
West
Now,
Indies.
I wanted to just talk to that just for a quick second. It just hit me thinking about it. I said, wow, they really are very calculated because in the West Indies, I know there were a couple of islands that, were conquered by Caucasian or, they had slaves. Now, history does tell you that Haiti was a successful slave uprising. Thinking about it, it kind of hurts me to think now, listening to this, is that could that have actually just been a test run to see how the black man thinks and to see what their maneuverism is, and you know what I mean, to be able to pinpoint, okay,
Right.
this is what they use, so this is what we're going to do. Was that like a test?
Yeah, he
Which
said that he
part?
ran a series of tests
Right.
to prove that this would work. Yeah. People and this is something that a lot of people might not know. I don't know the exact countries or places, but there were other slave owners from
Mm-hmm.
other parts of this whole globe that
Right.
were using and calling, on his information. So he was like a traveling freaking, yeah, he was that. He was like evil gene. Like he was like, oh my gosh, like his information was very valuable at that time. We were so out of control, quote unquote. Like people, like imagine, imagine divine chaos just running rapid on plantations.
because
Just
because we
imagine.
because I know there's a lot of people who wonder why, okay, if one island was able to be successful, why couldn't other islands, or why couldn't other places? So it leads me to think that they were just used just to see what we're capable of.
It was an experiment for like this region of the globe, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
Yeah.
now.
Hmm. Yep.
Because ever
Come
since
on,
then, Haiti has
Rico.
never been the same. That country has just not even been able to get it together politically.
Yep, people forget about the Haitian Revolution. I myself, and this, and it might not even be. See, here's another perspective. We don't know. Just like Fundi said earlier,
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about I don't know nothing about that child. I ain't even gonna sit here and lie to you, child.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
that's something
mean,
that we can definitely build on here.
how many of us really paid attention in history class and actually connected the timelines?
You're
Not a
right.
lot of us.
That's
Most
true.
of us didn't even finish our history books during class, let alone independent study and actually looking at the
Mm-hmm.
times and lining
Right.
them up. I mean,
Right.
Yep.
there are
And
people
it's
that still think slaves aren't alive right now, and
uh-huh.
there's still some slaves alive right now.
Mm-hmm.
That part. That part. That part.
That part, Rico.
Right. Yes.
But there's all different types of slavery. There's mental slavery. There's
Working a job, slavery. I mean,
yeah, I
pay
agree. Yeah.
us paying rent, slavery. I mean, it's still,
Mm.
it's soft porn on the slavery. Soft porn slavery. Let's continue. Continually, though the breaking of uncivilized savage niggers by throwing the nigger female savage into a frozen psychological state of independency, by killing the protective male image, by creating a submissive dependent mind of the nigger male savage, we have created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever unless a phenomenon occurs and reshifts the positions of the female savages. Now, I got a question for you, Fundi. Let me finish this last two sentences. We show what we mean by example. Take the case of two economic slave units and examine them closely. Now, the question that I have for Mama Fundi, because I know she just gonna eat this up and fuck this up and just like take us to church, right? So, Fundi, what is your definition? What do they mean by female savage, Fundi? I don't know what they mean by that. What can you school us real quick? I'm a mic up.
Using his words, that would be the female that understood and understands her customary freedom, and not only understands her customary freedom, she takes it. She doesn't ask anybody for it. And another phenomenon takes place when that savage phenomenon occurs. She not only teaches her female child to be accustomed to that same freedom, she also shifts the position of that male child to aspire also to have that customary freedom. And once that happens, the game is over.
I was just sitting here thinking, like, we're programmed to think savage is bad. Savage
Ain't
is
nothing like a
nature.
phenomenon. Ain't nothing like a phenomenon. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Let me put my thing back.
Everything about nature is savage. Everything about nature is
Right.
chaos.
That's where they're trying to
The
control that
waves
too.
coming in on the coast, in the ocean, on the shore, that's chaos. You get too close, you might just die. There ain't nothing wrong with chaos. We are chaos. They put a chaotic being, a substance, an energy, and they've encased it, encapsulated it, bottled it up, and put plastic on it. But we still resurrect. We still resurrect every time. So when listening to this information, my beautiful people, please don't get into a state of mind of feeling down, of feeling sad, of feeling beat back into your nigger place, so to speak. Look at this as, look where I've came from. My people have came from. What my ancestors have went through. Look at this as a guide to show you everything that we must reverse and break. We are not a slave. We are no one's fucking slave. Black woman, you are the creation, the creator on this earth plane. Woman, you are the creator on this earth plane. Life comes from you. I ain't no slave. What did Oshun say in her song? I ain't no slave, bitch. I'm a king, bitch. I'm a god. Period. So let this not put us back into a state of, feeling sad. We ain't here for sadness. Okay? Period. We gonna take this shit and we gonna empower ourselves from this very sadistic, dark ass fucking shit right here. Cause that's what we do. We alchemize energy. That's what we do as Black women. Exactly why This, plain and simple, what we read today, that's why that happened. They knew if we were connected to nature from which we come from, playing with our elements, in our element, working the elements, they knew that we would be too powerful to contain. So they knew that they had to come up with this sick ass programming. And they said forever, it will orbit on itself forever.
Regular scheduled programming.
Like forever.
Unless a phenomenon takes place. Now, if you want to know what the hiccup is, he's telling you what the hiccup is. So we have to make sure that this phenomenon takes place. So if you know this is your conditioning and your conditioner is telling you what is going to break your conditioning, I think it's imperative that we make sure that the phenomenon that he speaks of takes place.
I think we should be that hiccup.
And isn't that what the Matrix was about? Ooh.
Oh yes.
Oh, speak on it. Speak on it. Well,
I'm just saying, I don't want us to get too far off, but I just want us to know that a black woman wrote it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But go ahead. It's nothing like a phenomenon. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We are that hiccup, ladies and gentlemen. Period. Let's continue, y'all. Let's continue because we almost done. Okay. Am I here? We got some static going on. Okay, I don't hear it anymore. Sorry, I lost my place. Give me just a moment. Savage. Okay.
Take your time. I'm mixing my drink, girl. Go take your time.
Look, no problem. Yes, y'all, like, get y'all wine and stuff. I actually have some champagne right here, too. I poured me just a tiny little bit, just enough to calm my nerves, y'all, because when I tell you, when I first started the broadcast, I was like, I was glitching. So, yes, I got some brute over here. So I got that dry, but it's actually hitting pretty good. Oh, wow. That was not the time for a sexual joke, but no pun intended. I want to stop and say I appreciate everybody that has came out tonight. I see y'all. Peace to the guys and goddesses, man. This is some heavy stuff, but some well-needed shit to just dissect and go through. I'm glad we did this. Rolling my ganja and taking some mushrooms. Hey. Oh, you want a whole vibe over there, okay? A whole vibe. So I'm going to continue to read. Let's see where we at. Let me throw some background music on, y'all. Let's take like a brief little 2 minute intermission. Okay, so I'm going to get some music going. Just a brief intermission. I need a tinkle anyway, so let's do that. Just a couple more minutes, family, okay? We're gonna do a total of like a 5-minute little break. Look, get myself together over here. Just like 2 or 3 more minutes, y'all. Appreciate y'all. All right, family. We back. We back like we never left. I had to roll one. It sounded too good, Rico. It sounded too good. I said, let me go ahead and get myself together too. Nerves got bad all up in my emotions and things.
This is a good build, good conversation.
Yes. Yes. Yes, it is. Hope everybody doing good tonight. What everybody got going on?
I'm just relaxing tonight. Nothing special. Nothing special at all.
I am sorting through muscadine grapes and I'm halfway done. Oh God.
Okay. Yeah, I had some I nibbled on some Wingstop. I haven't ate it all, but it's something about them veggies. I don't know if it's the GMO, but the crispness of that damn them carrot sticks and them celery sticks. Honey. All right. Now let's get back to it, y'all. Let's get back to it. So, hold on one second. My bad, y'all. The kids have the TV up, and look, we can't be hearing, some copyright stuff in the back. So, all right. So, I'm going to just start here because I think this is about where I left off. This is page 34. You've got the nigger woman out front and the man behind and scared. This is a perfect situation for sound sleep and economics. Okay, yes, we did read this. Okay, let me go down, okay? We're starting on page 37. Sorry, 36, my bad.
Let's see.
All right. The Negro Marriage Unit is the page that we are on. We breed 2 nigger males with 2 nigger females. Then we take, before I continue, y'all, let me just apologize in advance because I'm not going to make the kids be totally quiet because, they're kids in the summer and like they're living their best life. So I apologize in advance if you hear them damn near trying to unalive each other downstairs because,
No
they get
worries.
like that. All right. We breed 2 nigger males with 2 nigger females. Then we take the nigger males from them, keep them moving and working. Say the one nigger female bear a nigger female and the other bears a nigger male. Both nigger females being without the influence of the nigger image. The nigger image, I had to repeat that, froze with the independent psychology, will raise their offspring into reverse positions. The one with the female offspring will teach her to be like herself, independent and negotiable. And it has in quotation, or sorry, I don't know what the hell that shit's called, but we negotiate with her through her, by her, and negotiate at her will. Now, I'm not sure what they mean by herm. Do you ladies know?
Say that word again. Spell it.
HERM.
I do not.
Okay. So I'm gonna write that down because that's definitely a word that I would love to know the meaning of. Actually, what's beans to a giant? Look, I got a whole tab open. Let's see what that means real quick.
I need to read that over.
You mean HERM?
Yeah.
Yes.
A squared stone pillar with a carved head on top, typically of Hermes, used in ancient Greece as a boundary marker or a signpost.
So okay, so now my question is, thank you for that, Fundi.
What is a herm? What is a herm in gender? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She calls those with both testes and ovaries herms.
Wow.
Repeat that again, Fundi, please.
Those with both testes and ovaries herms. Those with testes and some female genitalia, but no ovaries are merms. Those with ovaries and some male genitalia, but no testes are firms. This gives the possibility of 5 rough biological groupings: male, merm, herm, firm, and female.
So is that the modern day quote unquote black female that doesn't need a man.
Yes,
Hmm.
in her masculine state.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, that was good. Thank you for that was good.
The one with the nigger male offspring,
Mm.
she being frozen with the subconscious fear for his life. Because remember,
Mm-hmm.
he got pulled away, with the horse in front of her.
Mm.
He's not here no more. All right. The one with the nigger male offspring, she being frozen with the subconscious fear for his life, will raise him to be mentally dependent and
Mm-hmm.
weak, but physically strong. In other words, body over mind. Now that is exactly where we left off. That's where we left off. So
Mm-hmm.
let's continue. Now in a few years, when these offspring become fertile for early reproduction, we will mate and breed them and continue the cycle. That is good, sound, and long range, comprehensive planning. Evil geniuses, right? I mean,
Yep.
Very.
I must say, I look,
It's deep.
look. I mean,
Very deep. Mm.
yeah, rocked us to sleep. Let's make a slave. Warning: possible interloping negatives. Earlier, we talked about the non economic good of the horses and the nigger in their wild or natural state. We talked out the principle of breaking and tying them together for orderly production. Furthermore, we're talking about paying particular attention to the female savage and her offspring, orderly future planning. Now, we have to be mindful that they're using the word female savage, right?
Right.
So we can't forget, what that means. I just wanted to point that out. Um, so let me go back just a little bit. We talking about we're talking about paying particular attention to the female savage and her offspring orderly's future planning. Then, more recently, we stated that by reversing the positions of the male and female savages, we had created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever. Until this phenomenon occurred and reshifted the positions of the male and female savages. Now, I just thought about some too. He's programming the it's crazy because just the art of repetition basically is what I'm getting at. Him repeating what he said before to these slave masters, you know what I'm saying? So like them reading it over and over again, just instilling it in their brain. Furthermore,
The quick note there. I just have a question.
mm-hmm.
Now, some slave mothers would kill their children, and my thought was that it's because they did not want them to be slaves. But it seems like it's much more deeper that they may have realized the pattern of what was going on and didn't want their children to be a part of that.
Right.
Which is why slave farms were necessary.
Mm-hmm. There you go. They have a calculation for everything.
Wouldn't you, if your economy dependent on a people and the land that they originally came from?
Mm-hmm.
You got to take the land and you got to make them forget. What a better way.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm just sitting here, my mind kind of drifted off to just trying to put myself in the dynamic. Like, how is the dynamic? Like, you're in the house and I'm in the field, or vice versa. Like, what that really looked like what that felt like, especially for the first, let's say, first 3 or 4 generations of slaves, people that were just, villaging together. And you know what I'm saying? Like now they're in this cult.
It looks the exact same that it looked right now outside your window,
Makes sense.
except
Wow,
less
right.
luxury.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing changed
Just
except the
looks different.
condition of ourselves.
Right.
I just thought about that scene in Django. That's a nigga on a horse.
There's a nigga on that nag. Why the nigga on that nag?
He said, "Not with my niggas, you can't." Our experts warned us about the possibility of this phenomenon occurring. For they
Wait,
say the mind
sorry.
has
I'm
a
sorry. You
strong.
said something there which confused me. Who were their experts?
Mm,
Remember, they did other experiments. He didn't do them by
Okay.
himself.
right,
Gotcha. Okay.
right.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah, because he's presenting this to them like this is the master plot. We tested
Gotcha.
this.
Okay.
Yeah, there's been a lot of analysis done. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Our experts warned us about the possibility of this phenomenon occurring. What is the phenomenon? The hiccup, right? Y'all following?
Mm.
All right. For they say the mind has a strong drive to correct and recorrect it. The mind has
Mm.
a strong drive to correct and recorrect itself over a
Mm-hmm.
period of time. Somebody wanted to say something?
Nope. Go ahead. Listen.
Oh,
I'm
Nope.
just sorry. Go ahead.
if it can touch a
Mm.
substantial original historical base. And they
Wow.
advised us that the best way to deal with the phenomenon, the hiccup, is to shave off the brute's mental history and create a
Mm.
that's a word for me, multiplicity of phenomena of illusions that
Mm-hmm.
each illusion
Mm-hmm.
can twirl into its own orbit.
Wow.
Something similar to floating balls in a vacuum. Just confused, dazed and confused, child.
Mm-hmm.
On a rat wheel within a rat wheel within a rat wheel.
Mm-hmm.
That's on a rat wheel.
If we were from Africa, don't y'all think they would have deported us like everybody the
That's
fuck
what
else?
I'm. Come
Very
through, Fundi.
true. Thank
Come
you.
through, Fundi. Got all of
Yes.
us. Let's go back to Africa.
Yeah.
Back.
I agree.
Back.
Why
We've
are
been
we the
here.
only people that America cannot deport, although they keep screaming, y'all from Africa? But
Mm-hmm.
this thing clearly says that they fabricate a history for you that
There you
they
go.
keep on
Mm-hmm.
fabricating so it perpetuates itself. Don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong, were Africans brought over here and we were mingled with them?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right.
But there's
But
a reason America cannot deport us. And all them Africans are not, they're not crazy. Y'all not from here. No shit.
Right.
and maybe that's the like I remember Sequoia said earlier, that there's just like, me versus you type thing. Maybe that's where that stemmed from because, I'm just talking about people from modern day people that maybe just moved here in the last, you know what I'm saying, like modern day shit. And they're looking at us like, you don't even know your history and you screaming, I'm a star, set us free. And you talking about going back to Africa and you wearing dashikis and you know what I'm saying? Like they look at us as ignorant fools because they know the history, but we don't. It's taught to us in reverse.
Everyone's looked us like that. My father was in Vietnam, and he told my mom the story that when he was in Vietnam, um, I guess an army person from Vietnam questioned him, "Why are you fighting for America?"
Mm-hmm.
He's like, why are you?" He's like, "They're not for you."
And then you ask yourself, why do our black men and women
Mm.
still enroll into the military?
Oh,
Is that
can I give
what's
you a
the
short answer?
go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Go watch the movie The Spook That Sat by the Door.
Mm.
The let me write that down. The scoop
Spook.
The
Spook.
Spook.
spook. Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
spook movie. Hold on. Look, I got a whole notepad over here, y'all, and it's full.
The Spook
The
That Sat by the
spook.
Door.
Okay. The
I
spook
sent my
that's
sons to the military because it would be easier for them to be in the ass of the beast than to be in the
Mm.
beast firing line.
and I
Oh,
understand
wow.
that aspect as well.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that perspective as well.
Who better to teach my sons how to wage war than
Mm.
death itself?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So there's always a flip side to there's always
Mm-hmm.
that polarity. Always. Always.
I mean,
And I
I'm
I
just
recognize that
you know,
polarity.
I, I, I'm just here.
Let's continue. Look. Rico said, I'll be up shortly. Okay, no problem. We are here. Look, we are here. I'm loving the vibe, loving the groove, and I appreciate you ladies for coming up. I really do. All right. Let's get it. Where we at? Okay, experts. Did we finish reading this? Yes, we did. The ball's in the vacuum, right? The
Mhm.
twirl in its
Mm-hmm.
own orbit, right? The illusion.
Yes.
All right. Let's make a slave. Come on, William. Come on, Rico. I need you to hit me with another. Come on, William. He had me cracking up when he typed that. Okay. This creation of okay, did I read this? No, I didn't. They're just using it again. Okay. The creation of a multiplicity of phenomena, illusions, entails the principles of crossbreeding the nigger and the huh? Oh, and the horse, as we stated above. The purpose of which is to create a diversified division of labor, thereby creating different levels of labor, and different values of illusions at each connecting level of labor. So we're talking, let me just finish the sentence. The results of which is the severance of the points of original beginnings for each sphere illusion. So over here, 3% is like, but I'm pushing through. I'm speaking for the people. I'm in my purpose. I'm da 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 da. Sequoia's like, well, I'm a lawyer. You're not making no money. Don't nobody want to hear that. I'm the creme de la creme. Went to law school. I passed the bar. Then we got Fundi over here. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Mm-hmm.
it, and
Yeah.
we're all just feeding the same illusion, aka
Yeah.
the same beast.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, thank you, Rico. Come on, William. Let's go. Yes, William. All right, William, let's go. Let's continue, y'all. Since we feel that the subject matter may get more complicated as we proceed in laying down our economic plan. Economic plan, y'all. This is the economic
Yeah.
plan. Concerning the purpose, reasons, and effect of crossbreeding horses and niggers, we shall lay down the following definitional terms for future generations. Y'all ready? Number 1, orbiting cycle means a thing turning in a given path. Number 2, axis means upon which or around which a body turns. Oh, so they just laying it all down for us, honey. Number 3, phenomenon means wow. You just gotta laugh. You just gotta laugh at this shit because it's like, what the fuck? Oh shit. Because we done made up our own definitions, right? But William's gonna tell us what it means, right? Right. Phenomenon means something beyond ordinary conception and inspires awe and wonder. 4, multiplicity means a great number. 5, Sphere means a globe. Thank you, William. We appreciate that. Thank you. Number
What
6,
we have to
crossbreeding.
remember, everybody didn't have a dictionary in 17. Who's it? What's it?
Hmm.
That is true. He is
Very
laying
true.
down literally a whole law. So,
And not only that, a lot of slaveholders were very illiterate.
Mm.
Fundi, this brings me to something I want to ask you this. I want, if you don't mind,
Sure.
can you please explain to us the power of the whole fact that this is a letter, that this is written down, and what that
Mm.
means spiritually, mystically, all the above? Can you enlighten us, please, Master Fundi?
It's a seal
Mm.
because it's written down and it teaches you how to seal.
Mm.
It's a seal. So what if, and I've said this for about the last 10 years, what if the Willie Lynch letter is one of the seals that has to be broken?
Wow. Hmm.
All I can do is hit my blunt to that.
I mean, it
Well,
says it should last for 1,000 years and spin on its own axis. That sounds like a whole world to me.
Mm-hmm.
right. An illusion. It's an illusion, though.
Hey, man. So are the four horsemen.
Mm.
That's powerful, y'all. Collectively, we have been under an illusion that obtaining, like, the ultimate life is getting a 5-bedroom house with 3.5 baths, a backyard with a pool, a picket fence, a dog, one child, a husband or a wife, and a job making 4 to 6 figures. We think that's, and it's crazy because, quick story time. I used to clean houses for Homoglow. And when I used to go into these rich people's houses, I realized there's nothing really here to clean.
Hmm.
They want me here because they're lonely, because they're unhappy. But they got literally $3.5 million worth of just
Space.
shit alone. Just shit. Just
Mm-hmm.
shit. Just shit. Just shit. I'm dusting shit that costs more than I probably will ever make in this lifetime because I don't care to make it. Like, like we're in an illusion. Even when you attain this success, quote
It's
unquote,
true.
you're not happy because guess what? You're not in your natural state.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the, what they call it, the what freedom?
Customary.
Customary freedoms that you want, that your ancestors once had.
Hmm.
We're so deep up under the thumb that, like, we're suffocating. We go at each other's necks so much. We argue the white man's truth, his spin on the book of Enoch, quote unquote the Bible. Let me be clear. We argue about stupid, mundane shit that is got us in this slavery in the first place. We don't realize the real issue at hand. Like you said earlier, Master Fundi, we have to realize who the real enemy is. And we're pointing guns at each other. Our kings are killing each other by the handfuls. Our women are literally getting their natural bodies sucked on and shit, and booty surgeries and shit, and lip fillers, and like, for what? Wear wigs every day from the same horse that they pulled your motherfucking king apart on in front of your face. Number 6, crossbreeding niggers means taking as many drops of good white blood and putting them into as many nigger women as possible, varying the drops by various tones that you want. Oh, they just build a nigga over there, right?
Yes.
Build a nigga workshop, right?
Yes.
Wow.
And then letting them breed with each other until circle of colors appear as you desire. What this means is put the niggers and the horse in the breeding pot. Mix some asses and some good white blood. And what do you get? You got a multiplicity of colors. Ass backwards. Unusual niggers running, tied to backward ass long-headed mules. So they changed not only did they literally genetically splice us, but they genetically spliced the mule. So the mules we see today aren't the real horses, y'all. They that's not them. That's not them.
Wow.
And what did they use the horse for? Riding. Transportation. I mean.
And sometimes I like to bring this up in popular conversation just for shocks, kicks, and giggles.
I'm going to use the restroom, ladies. I'm going to mute up.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm listening.
We have to remember that some of our bloodlines are inbred.
Mm-hmm.
That part. Because who
Very
else
true.
was we fucking but each other? That
We
part.
are.
Keep going, Foodie. Look, my bad. Look. Keep.
We are a made in America product.
Wow. Ooh, that's deep.
And that's something that we got to come to. We are brand new. We're the most brand new peoples on the planet, bred by everybody. And some of us are mules. It went that way. Some of us stayed thoroughbreds. Some of us doubled up on that bad shit. It happened. Some of us can't be saved. It's good that some of us are sterile. I said it. But again, we have to understand how we were made and where we come from. A lot of us, our creation, our ancestors had sex with paper bags on their heads. We didn't know who fathered that child. And sometimes it take a couple generations for some of that deterioration to jump out. I mean, if he's talking about breeding horses and breeding niggas are the same,
wow.
it take about 3 good generations before you get your donkey.
Yep. Yep.
4 generations to get your jackass.
And it makes sense when Kanye West said everything we've been told is a lie.
It is.
Literally.
Yeah.
But for their gain, not yours.
Right. Right.
You cannot educate a man that you are trying to enslave, for if you do, he will use his education to get his freedom by any means necessary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, I was having some difficulties. Difficulties. I almost spilled a whole thing of water on the damn phone.
It's okay. I was trying to fill an empty space.
I'm like, oh my goodness, if I drop all this water on this phone, that would be the wrong thing to do.
Oh, no.
That'd be almost too like right, huh? On the stuff we talking about, huh? Finish them. Oh, they think they cute. They think they talking about something. Spiritual spies, activate. Go get her.
Hey man, when somebody give you the playbook of what they did to you, and they rub that shit in your, I mean, literally be like, here, this is what we did.
Yeah.
Now what you gonna do?
It's free, Fundi. Guess how long it took me to find this, Fundi? Fundi. It took me 3.3. 3.3. Literally. Here you go.
Damn.
You don't even have to pay 99 cents, child. They don't want a red cent. Here you go. But you got to go through the Library of Congress to see where your come on now, where your bloodline is. And then that brings me to ask, because I don't want to get too off topic, but it is kind of relating to the crossbreeding thing, right? The topic of what's the name of that damn thing? Do you know where you get your blood tested in? The Ancestry.com. I think that's a whole scam.
I do too.
It is.
That's why I will never do it.
Why is it so accessible to everybody?
My mama
Something
said
that tangible. You know what I'm saying? Just that, no. Like, it's got to be a setup. And then the people that were working there, some of them spoke out after leaving.
My mom said it's the start of the Clone Wars. I was like, you know what? You are not allowed to watch Star Wars anymore.
I need to get into Star Wars, actually. I never was a Star Wars kid. But now that I know what it's about, I'm going to be watching some Star Wars, okay? Y'all better not be surprised if I come dressed up as Darth Vader doing a tarot reading one day, okay?
I already do.
Okay, period. That part. Let's activate that energy, though. Period. They want to test the blood. Okay, Rico, you getting somewhere. Because my next question was, well, why? Why do they need the blood?
Because there's a bloodline that's always being looked for. And the lost one sits over here somewhere. They bred into it, but they lost track of it.
This is their way of keeping tabs.
Or at least try.
Controlled language. Crossbreeding completed. For further severance from this original beginning, we must completely annihilate the mother tongue to both the new nigger and the new mule, and institute a new language that involves the new life's work of both. You know, language is a peculiar institution. It leads to the hearts of a people. The more a foreigner knows about the language of another country, the more he is able to move through all levels of that society. Very true.
And that's why it was necessary for them to come and sit amongst us for at least 10 years before they struck.
And these people, they couldn't come and do this all willy-nilly. So it's like, wow, how ironic, willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly.
Right. But so this means someone had to have agreed to this or sold us out or got some type of, there had to have been some type of exchange or something, right? Because I just don't see, no shade to my white viewers, but some measly ass white folks coming over here and just, you know what, I'm taking over on some chaotic natural beings. I don't see that happening.
Well, the
Yes,
Catholic Church
y'all,
definitely.
let's take, sorry, Master Fundi, 1 second. Let's take
Yeah.
the time, y'all. I do have the Cash App rolling on the bottom of the screen if you would like to donate. Also, Blue Rain, if you wouldn't mind dropping Fundi's Cash App in the chat as well. If you are enjoying the content, donations are definitely appreciated, humbly appreciated. What were you gonna say, Fundi?
I don't remember.
As I take another sip of wine.
Right?
Okay, that good champagne. All right. I just read that. Okay, levels of society. All right, y'all. We're on page 45. Let's run through this thing. Therefore, if the foreigner is an enemy of another country to the extent that knows the body of the language, to that extent is the county vulnerable to attack or invasion of a foreign culture. For example, you take a slave, if you teach him all about your language, he will know all of your secrets, and he is then no more a slave, for you can't fool him any longer. A being a fool is one of the basic ingredients of incidents to the maintenance of the slavery system. Sequoia says, my other phone overheated. I'll be back up. I see you, sis. No problem. Welcome on back. I figured it was something like that. Hey.
Yeah, I'm back.
Welcome back. All right. For example, if you told a slave that he must perform in getting out. Oh, wow. That just hit. I just thought about the movie Get Out. I don't know why.
Ooh.
I just channeled that
Great
real
movie.
quick.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all feel that? Okay. Perform in getting out our crops, quote unquote, and he knows the language well, he would know that our crops, quote unquote, didn't mean our crops, meaning he was included.
Mm-hmm.
And the slavery system would break down, for he would relate on the basis of what our crops really meant. Let's make a slave. So you have to be careful in setting up the new language, for the slave would soon be in your house talking to you as man to man, quote unquote. And they ain't having that, child.
Mm-hmm.
And that is death in our economic system. In addition, the definition of words or terms is only a minute part of the process. Values are created and transported by communication through the body of the language. A total society has many interconnected value systems All these values in the society have bridges of language to connect them for orderly working in the society. But for these languages, but for these language bridges, these many value systems which shapely clash, add cause. That's definitely a typo. Internal strife or civil war. The degree of the conflict being determined by the magnitude of issues or relative opposing strengths in whatever form. For example, if you put a slave in a hog pen and train him to live there and incorporate in him to value it as a way of life completely, the biggest problem you would have out of him is that he would worry you about provisions to keep the
Provision.
hog provisions to keep the hog pen clean, thank you, or partially clean, or he might not worry you at all. On the other hand, if you put this same slave in the same hog pen and make a slip and incorporate something in this language whereby he comes to value a house more than he does his hog pen, you got a problem. He will soon be in your house. Wow. Food for thought from the internet. Dear Black
Having
Americans.
sex with your daughter.
After all these years and all we have been through together, we think it's appropriate for us to show our bye. That's the damn website, y'all. Okay. Food for thought from the internet. We're going to scroll past that. All right, y'all. We're on page 51. Food for thought from the internet. Food for thought for... Okay. Okay, so they basically... That's the end for this particular... Is that the whole Willie Lynch letter?
Yes.
We read the whole thing. Yay!
Wow.
Good. So basically the last 2 pages, those of y'all that do want to know, watching the replay or whatnot, it's just talking about, the link is down in the description for reference, but it's basically just talking about more about the slave trade, times, places, people, blase, and, it's live. So, there's no need to read that. So, yeah. It's
Now
what
you know what you gonna do about it.
Right?
I think it's powerful for us having this conversation, breaking this down, seeing each other's viewpoints on things, like learning from each other, connecting with each other. That was my goal. Ooh, 2/22/02 when I said that. That was my goal for tonight. Talking about, like you said earlier, Sequoia, what are the steps how do we get out of this? I just wanted to pick each other's brain and just see what do y'all think? How do we get out of this? Because I'm asking the same damn thing.
But it's going to take a collective.
Yes.
It's gonna take us taking our money and our interests and turning it into ourselves.
Definitely. I agree.
Because if we can make everybody else rich,
we can definitely make ourselves rich.
Yeah.
But again, we got to remember our programming. And just because me and my sister are different, don't mean me and my sister have to have beef.
Right.
Just because your skin is lighter than mine or darker than mine, don't make me no less or better than you. We are one and the same. Now that we understand where this come from, we can collectively make a change for self. That's where it starts with self, because it's nobody on this earth plane but you. It's all an illusion. The only mission we have here on this earth plane is know thyself. And in knowing thyself is loving thyself. And you're going to project that. Because we're projecting all the fucking time. So if you love yourself, you're going to project that shit.
Very true.
Know thyself. That's it. We ain't got to worry about what they got. Oh, that little business. Oh, that we got to stop. We are in the. I'm realizing going through. Okay. I have a question after I say this. I'm realizing going through the letter that what stuck out to me was the whole field nigga, house nigga, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we got that the word, like that we're in that, the like in the thick of that. So fucking deep. So my question to y'all ladies is, what stuck out the most for y'all? And the viewers that's watching, leave y'all comments down below. What stuck out the most? Like, it was like, damn. Hi, Ocean. Welcome in.
I think right before I dropped was I've always thought the same thing is how could a race or a person create this type of control over a group of people?
They were given permission.
Because they wanted to get rich.
Right.
Because they wanted not to be controlled by a king.
There you go.
Mm.
But there's still a Roman. There's still a damn. There's still the same. Ooh. Still a Roman society.
Right.
So what's sticking out to me is that Oshun says, hi, ladies.
Hey, Oshun.
You are more than welcome to come up, sis. It's an open panel discussion. Anybody is more than welcome to come up. So my next thing is, well, Fundi, did you want to say what stuck out to you the most?
The answer stuck out to me the most. I mean, I understand what happened. I see it every day. Mm-hmm. Old and new, historic, and what's coming down this future pike with them taking away affirmative action for us.
Boom.
But,
right.
Man, but yeah, until it gets too bad, we still have options. In a minute, we're not going to have those options, especially as women, because they're steady taking our autonomy from us. And we already know that most of our men have taken the red pill. So,
right,
you better get some land and learn how to shoot.
Right.
I think the next topic coming up, not to get too off track, but I think this direct discussion will be it'll be great to lead right into the Titanic. I feel like it correlates because this was like the new world for them. There's a whole thing behind that and the sinking and whatnot. We know, well, some of us may know that, it's actually the Olympus and not the Titanic, or the Olympic, sorry, and not the Titanic. I think that'll be a great area to like move into for the next live and just like build on that. I do need to educate myself a little bit more, but I spiritually kind of know what's going on, but I want to know what's going on and like have articles to read and blase. So we'll be doing stuff like this more often, y'all, like, building on stuff I like this. So, but what I think is important today is we're all spiritually gifted in this room. All of us. And I had Master Fundi come on today for a reason. Okay, I reached out to her personally because I knew she would just, really help us on a level that, or help me even, really. Let me speak for myself. I just thank you, Master Fundi. I had you come up here for a reason. Now, with that being said, Let's talk about right burning and releasing this shit with the same verbiage. Okay? That's what I want to talk about. Collectively coming together. Welcome, Rico. Welcome, welcome. Peace, God.
Peace and blessings. Salute, salute.
Peace and blessings.
So, William. Wo-
William.
Now, let's talk about William. Now, the way it was being broken down to me was like, okay, the way the people like parenting, for instance, like the way they teaching their children, like it's basically, hmm, how can I put this like in a nice way? Oh, hold on, y'all give me 1 second. Get my wording together. I would say the way that the parenting are teaching the children, like such as being afraid of like the white person and everything,
Mm,
it starts with the grandmother, because the grandmother be telling like the folk tales, and be like, okay, now they do this, they do this. Basically,
mhm,
and basically she's learning from like, from the stories that she heard. And like even Maya Angelou herself said they need to get out of that old way of thinking, like, that
mm,
thought process
Right.
of like being afraid of like somebody just because they like a lighter color or like feel like they have like some type of power or something. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just ridiculous. And like the way it's moving now, like I said, it's moving in a circle, but like different times. The same talk. This versus that person. This like it's just ridiculous to
Yeah.
me.
Unhealthy cycle it is.
Dysfunctional.
And man, we talked about the feminine aspect today, but the male aspect, how wicked, how painful, just the physical part, just being strapped to a horse and pulled apart, like
And then when you said that part, like being breaking the man apart, that's the only thing that the females seem to remember. Just something about a man, like like revolving around a man. It's like they just remember like the saddest part of like the story. It's never like a happy moment. They just remember they're taking our black man. They're doing this. They're doing that. You know.
right, right. I think it's important just as much as the women that the men take accountability as well, because like we can point the finger, but we got to be the ones to step up and try to make a change.
Break the cycle.
right. Mhm.
And the way we do that is teaching our children, you know, educating people, living in our purpose,
Mhm.
trying to be as self-sustainable as you can. I mean, we we can't even grow a damn peach in our damn community. We can't even grow a bushel of motherfucking collards. Like
Okay.
we know Popeyes drive through,
Church and
McDonald's.
chicken.
I
They
got
know being in the
Wingstop
club
in the
every other week.
fridge. Like we just so used to sucking on the teat of the white, like we hanging on his balls, just you know what I'm saying, just so
Mhm.
Yeah.
hard, like we can't even fathom eating for 6 months on our own food, on our own harvest.
Mhm.
We don't even have the patience, and we always have an excuse to even let a sprout grow, let alone a damn crop.
Okay. It's an excuse on top of
True.
another excuse. Nobody
But
has
then
questions
again,
or nothing.
sorry to cut you off, guy, but then again, there's no unity. We don't want to
Yeah.
learn nothing from nobody. We don't want
Mhm.
nobody telling us nothing. We always defend. It's either I don't want to hear that shit, or you're, oh, you one of them, or like it's always we're at each other's neck
Mhm.
all the time. But we praise our job, our Gucci, our BBLs, our et cetera, et cetera.
Hennessy, Newport,
Oh,
beer.
the Newport. Come on.
Okay. Hair weave, protesting, filling TVs, big rims,
Hmm.
having to notice this and that, still talking about reparations, all of that.
We're not getting reparations.
Mm-mm. And you want to know where the reparations went to? Like, the Black Lives Matter situation, right? Like that Patrice Cullors woman,
Mm.
she collected $90 million,
Mm.
whatever, and like bought 5 different homes over $1 million. No receipt to like where it
Mm.
went to, none of that. But claim that she did so much, but yet you get people talking about reparations. You need to go talk to her because she got the money.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I see Fundi left. I wanted to say thank you that she was up here, and thank you for inviting me too.
You are
I
very
kind of
welcome.
felt privileged to be able to be on the panel with you too, and of course with everybody else.
I was trying to get to it
Oh,
earlier, but like,
I
I had a
feel
friend.
mushy. Yes, Master Fundi, if you are in the chat, you already know you can get right on back up here. I'm not sure if her phone overheated or, died or something like that. But thank you so much for gracing my panel. I feel honored. I feel like I'm that bitch tonight, okay? Like I had Master Fundi on my panel. That's a big deal for me. So,
I
I was
felt
kind
smart
of.
today.
what'd you say?
I
I
felt
said I was.
smart today. Sorry.
I was
Oh,
kind of starstruck for a little.
now she feels smart today because she's smart every day. And sometimes it takes us building to get it out of each other because we be
Rico said.
knowing what's up. We
Rico
just,
said
it's
he was starstruck.
what happened.
I said
Rico
I
was
was kind of
starstruck.
starstruck.
Now he was starstruck.
Just a little, just a little. That's what I'm like. Let me get my wording correct.
I'm weak. I'm weak.
Hmm.
Frequencies everywhere. I feel the love. I
It
feel
was
the
a
love.
vibe, like the whole panel, all together, and then like just thinking, and not just, you
Hmm.
know,
And
just
nobody argued. Nobody was trying to be right. Like we
Hmm.
was all had one purpose of let's figure this shit out.
okay.
Let's dissect this motherfucker for real. Like let's really read it. Let's not always be like, this the Willie Lynch discrimination. Now
Mhm.
let's not just pull the black card without. Well, we got to know the history.
Like the backstory of it all, not just going off for like what's said, like do the research and go back, and
Hmm.
then like the real answer is really yours at the end of the day. That critical thinking when you put two and two together.
And read it through.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And now
Hmm.
you all that have watched this video, you can be like, you can ask somebody next time you hear it come up, that's the Willie Lynch. See, when next time you hear somebody yelling that shit, be like, huh, that's interesting. I agree with you. What part of the Willie Lynch are you referring to?
Hmm.
And I think the Willie Lynch is really a curse, if you ask me, to be honest, because this just seems like everybody just bring that up. Willie Lynch, Willie, 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 this.
Hmm. And I was one of those. I ain't never read the whole thing through until tonight.
Yeah, I read bits and pieces.
Yeah,
Hmm.
just through and through. Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
Like,
just like That's just like the Bible, for instance, right? I never read that, or nothing, but like I read the Quran, and it's
Hmm.
kind of it's one God, right? And
mhm,
from my conclusion, because like a little pieces of the Bible that I did kind of just, steam through or whatever, it was basically telling you not to follow him, but like it was telling you about yourself, that you are that God,
right.
that you do have those powers. He don't want nobody worshiping him. It's like, all up his butthole and stuff, nothing like no.
Mhm. Yeah. We got through the whole
Hmm.
letter. I thought it was gonna take like a series. And then I'm thinking now, like, damn, he concise this shit within 60 pages. Like, like that's wild.
And then that name altogether, Willie Lynch.
Willie Lynch.
Hmm.
Lynch.
All willy nilly and shit.
Okay.
Mm. Well, as we come up on the cusp of the Great Mother 111. I want to thank everybody tonight for coming up, giving your insight. Thank you for the energy. Thank you for clicking on the video. Those of y'all that's watching the replay, peace to y'all. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. And the next topic that we'll be bringing is building on the Titanic / the Olympic. So I don't know if y'all want to, get your spiritual shoes on and start doing a little research, but we'll be back next Friday.
Oh, I'll definitely be here on that because I definitely want to touch on that, like the
Hmm.
Titanic situation,
Yes.
especially from this previous thing too. All I'm just gonna say is time travel.
Mm.
Say
Mm.
that again.
All I'm gonna say on that is time travel. You know how they're trying to change history and the Titanic,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm.
then trying to like research the Titanic, whatever, going down there, just I guess the tour or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It, what I got from it was basically they was trying to go back in time, or whatever, if that makes sense.
And redo some shit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same bloodlines of the same,
Mm.
I believe, five uh
Reincarnated. Mm-hmm.
survivors, I believe. Sorry, not survivors. The five billionaires that sank in the
Mm-hmm.
Olympic. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm gonna do some research because I could be wrong, but
It's sometimes good to be ahead of ourselves, because some of us is not even from this
I believe
dimension.
one of them was a. Sorry to interrupt you.
go ahead.
And I was saying, I believe one of them was a descendant of the Titanic. One of their family members was on it.
That's what I
Uh,
heard too.
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm. Chill. And when I initially read um the news article, my first thought was Oya.
Mm.
Then I
Mm-hmm.
thought
Mm-hmm.
Oshun.
Mm-hmm.
Then it backed it up because three is always nice
Mm-hmm.
with that
Lacerine.
goddamn
La
Medusa.
Serene, Agua.
I was thinking, yeah, Lacerine.
Medusa. I
Mm-hmm.
Ahí
said,
pasó.
oh
Mm.
man. And when you get a image of Medusa in your head, it kind of throw you off for a second, So I was like, my. Okay, so
Cindy.
okay. So that was like a channel for me. So I'm like, okay, I know that this is something we need to talk about. And then I started thinking about um the guardians. There's actual guardians. And I need to go because I did research on this before. So I need to go back, into my notepad and stuff and do my thing over here. And I encourage y'all to do the same over there. But basically, this ties in with the Adam and Eve story. Y'all, we gonna get deep. The tree of life. There was a specific tree, I believe it's the jumbo tree that grew in the Atlantic in that specific region. um, the tree was crying out to me. I didn't know nothing about the tree. I just got a download about it, and then I researched that there's an actual fucking jumbo tree. Then the jumbo goddess came out in my deck as well. So it just threes. You know what I'm saying? Threes everywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
we're
I've
gonna
been
get into
seeing
some
nothing but
things.
threes lately. Like threes has been stalking me. Like 333, and then like this 1111. That's
Right, one,
three.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. 111,
222, and then not even just like the
222.
regular numbers too, like the numbers that add up to those, those
Right.
certain numbers.
Mm-hmm. And it's great that you're catching that though. Synchronization is everything. That's your key sign to know you're doing it right. You're walking
Mhm.
the right path.
Alignment.
Yes, that's the only way we know is signs of nature in the universe and numbers.
That's how the universe talk to us is in numbers. Like
Mm-hmm.
if people would know, like in numerology, like certain numbers will actually save you from certain things.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
the three, for instance, like three, that's basically telling you not to doubt yourself and like just to take that chance and just get out there and just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being afraid of like what you can't do, just do it. And whatever happens, happens. That's why I always got this saying, go with the flow, flow like the river.
I like that. All right, y'all. Any finishing last remarks? Anyone?
Yeah, this was a good build.
This was amazing.
This was
I'm
a
about to
ride.
take me a bubble bath, a nice spiritual bath, okay? Light me some candles, reset. This was beautiful. And I thank everybody for coming out.
Mhm.
Peace to the guys and goddesses. Thank you, Rico. Thank you,
Thank you for
Sequoia.
having
Thank
us.
you, Master Fundi.
Mhm.
Yeah, have a blessed night.
Have a
too.
good one.